What is good, creative? Sunji again from Ceasar Graphics. Welcome to my weekly design review. So I have these three designs I'm going to critique. I received these designs from my creatives members. I'm going to share what is working on the design and what is not working on the designs. All right. And I'm going to share tips on how to achieve successful designs. So sit back, relax, and keep watching. Before I start critiquing the design, I need to quickly share this with you. Now, I understand that we have clients who stop us from flowing, like they stop us from flying, they stop our wings, from flying. I want to quickly say this to you guys that everybody's not your client. So I received this message from one of my follower on Instagram, and she was asking me that what's she going to do in a situation where a client contacted her and the type of project that the client is asking her to work on is not flowing with a type of style in terms of doing designs. All right. And she said that this client is not willing to pay well. She just feel like helping the client to work on the design project. And after sending two options to the client end up saying no, that he or she wants something different from what the designer did. And after asking her questions on the type of designs that he or she wants, the response she got back from the client was, I don't know what exactly I want. I just want you to do me something good. Now, I'm saying this here now for you guys to know that everybody is not your client. All right. The fact that you're a designer does not mean you should start working for everybody. There are some people that what they do is to waste your time working on design projects. So, what you need to do is make sure that before working on any design project, ask them question. What exactly is the goal? Who are the target audience? Are there designs? Because this last question is very important. Are there designs that you see that always make you feel like, yes, I want something like this? Are there designs you see that makes you want to get involved or looking at the information on the design? If the client say just flow, please don't just flow. All right, ask them question, because the question you receive from the client is what you're going to use to shape the image that they have in their head. But when you don't capture that picture they are looking for, it will make you waste time working on the project, and this can cost you money. All right, so make sure you get the right question before working on any design project. And I'm going to say this again before we get to the critiquing of today's design. Everybody is not your client. All right. Everybody is not your client. This is the first design I'm going to critique today. Whenever you're working on design project, okay, I mentioned something at the beginning of this project that you need to understand the goal. All right. You need to understand the message behind, the project. And your tool as a designer, where achieving this correctly is making use of the design elements the right way. All right, now for those of you that don't know the design element, I'm talking of the space, shape, lines, value. So those things are what you're going to use to create the picture of the project. What we do is to create an image that stop people and make them get involved in looking at the content on the design. But when we don't use the design element the right way, it's not going to really pass that message well. Now, I'm not going to say too much on the getting the message right here, but I'm only going to critique this design and share why I feel this is not really successful. Now, whenever you're working on design project, all right, picture the arranging of the element the way things appear to you in real life. All right. Now you make anything that you want to make your focus be in front of you. All right. And then what is going to be out of your focus should be on your background. Now, there are times where the content, I need you guys to get what I'm sharing with you here now. Please, it will help you. Now, but there are times where what's supposed to serve as the background is going to be on the foreground. Now, how you now make people or your audience know that this element is not really the focus, is when you now make this element out of focus. I'm talking of when you now place the element on the foreground now. So how we do this well is by making that element that is on the foreground be out of focus. I'm saying this here now because of the way this designer here played with the composition on this project. Just say your background is not serving as the background. Your background here is it looks more like the focus. And I'll tell you why. We have too many contrast on your background. One of it is the color you use. The second is the way you have all this glow effect around your background. You know, the reason why anything is called the background is because you want it to be the last thing that people see. And the work of your background in graphic design is to project, is to push anything that you place on it to make people quickly see it. This here is more important than your background. All right. Now, I don't really have issue with the color used on the background. No. But the issue I have with this here is the way you play with all this glow stuff around, you know, your background here. It would have made more sense if we have those glow effects where we have the title here. So it to show more like you're actually projecting what you place around where you have those effects, those glow effects. But when those glow effects now go outside of the background, it's going to make the project look too heavy. And then the background will now start fighting with the important information on the design. Whenever you're trying to project your title like this, all right, next time, try make this side, this side, this side, and this side darker. All right. Never make any area on your background brighter when you don't have the intention of placing anything on that area. You only make part of your background brighter when you have the intention of placing something on that side of your background. But when you don't have anything to place there, don't make it too bright. Make the area where you want to place the content brighter so people's focus go on that part where you have that bright area. This glow effect would have worked well if we have it. I'm talking of this here. Would have worked well if we have it around here where we have the title. All right. It would have worked well. All right. Then when I started graphic design, I do this type of mistake where, I'll just place an image on one corner of my image like this, most especially when the image is or the illustration contains more than one people. All right. It's not that bad. All right. It's not really bad when you do this, but it's bad when you don't pay attention to your background. When your background is already loaded with effects, too many effects, you now using picture of too many people like this is going to make the project too heavy. So please avoid this. There's, I mentioned value under the elements of design. And this is the part where your value comes in. Your value also is part of how you create hierarchy in design. Okay, the element of designs are like the they are like the visual elements that make a composition, that makes a project. Then the principles of designs are now like what shape the project to help the viewers to understand or find it easy to access the information that you place on the project. Okay, so there's always the part of hierarchy where you use value in design. So please avoid this. So like I said, make more focus on this area because this here is the focus. It's the reason why we have this event. All right, the reason why we have this artwork. So make it, more focused. And I like your 3D text here. I like the way you play with the 3D text. But the issue I have with it is that you didn't really make it. You didn't really make it more, interesting. Okay. I think that is it for that. And yeah, so for this here, Now, the use of shape, all right, in graphic design is another way we create contrast. You know, all this design element thing, they are supposed to serve uh, a purpose. They are supposed to create an image. In fact, every most especially shapes, types, they are like picture. All right, don't just see them as shape. They are like pictures. So there are times when you're supposed to use them. You don't just use them because okay, I don't want my project to be empty, and that's why I would advise every one of you to go online and then check and understand when and how to use each design element. There's a reason why you're supposed to use every design element. There's a goal that each design element must serve on your project. You don't just use them because okay, I just want to have this on my project. And please, the use of too many different shapes is another way of making your projects have too much contrast. You know, this is one shape here, this is another one here, this is another one here, and you limit the use of shape on your project the way you limit the use of fonts. I know so many. The reason I'm always using font is because I know so many designers now know that okay, for me to achieve a good design, I'm not supposed to use too many fonts. I'm going to stop here on this, and I'll go straight to my second design for today. All right. Now, this here is to me it's boring. And why I'm going to say it's boring is because the background color is dull. When you combine too much of dark value on your background, and then your background color is now too desaturated, it's going to make the project look sick. All right, it's going to make it look sick. You know, something must give life to the project. Something must give the project that lively feel. And what this project is even talking about here is more of something that show more entertaining, something that say more of entertainment. All right, and whenever you're trying to create anything entertainment, or you're trying to create a project that is connected to entertainment, you know, your color, your use of the design elements should show the play look. It should have that play feel. All right. Color is one of the ways you do this well. When you play with color, when you use bright colors on your project, it shows this excitement, shows this happiness feel. All right. So here this is boring to me. All right, this is boring. And please next time try see how you can give that project that lively and happy look. All right. Yeah. Then your composition here, your layout. All right. Your layout here is boring. You know, it's a party we're talking about here. So give it that, let your element, let them play, let them have this, let it look jivey. Now, when I say jivey, I'm not saying you should now destroy the layout or make everything playful on your project. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, let the project have that party effect. In fact, let me quickly share this with you guys. The results, all right, what people are going to get from any event you ask to create the artwork should display on the artwork before the event day. So you're trying to say, okay, this is a party project, this is a party artwork. You should give that party look already on the design so that when people look at it, it makes them want to go for the event. But when you don't give that party look on the project, it makes people feel, man, this party is going to be boring. Even if the host spent too much on the event, if the artwork is not really showing that excitement feel, it won't really make people want to get involved. It won't really make people want to go for the event. So picture yourself, just whenever you're working on design project, just have that picture in your head before you get to your PC. Okay, now what are the things that happen whenever there's a party event? What's the atmosphere? What does it look like? What are the common things that people see there? What are the things that make it look like, yeah, this place is jivey, like things is good, people are going to have fun here. And that's the same principle you're supposed to apply to your project. All right. So whenever you're working on design project, picture what normally happen on that type of event you are asked to work on. So that picture, that feel is what you're supposed to apply to the project you're working on or you're about to work on. I'm sure you're enjoying this tutorial. If you have not subscribed, remember to hit the subscribe button and also remember to check the post notification bell so you get notified when I post any of my tutorials. So let's continue. All right, so I'm going straight to my third design for today. And I kind of like this layout here. All right, and I like this. Okay, but the problem I have with this is that the flushing of the elements here is too much. I always say this to you guys, that you limit the use of flushing left, right on your project the way you limit the use of fonts also. So when there's too many moving of elements around on your project, it's going to make the project look too playful, to make it look too childish. All right. So the flushing of the elements is also part of how we create contrast in graphic design. If you want to learn more about this, please try watch more of my design review video. I'm sure that I have videos where I explain how to do this well. All right. So I like the way you play with the title here, which, I like the fact that the background here, you see what I was telling you guys on the very first design. This background here is not really, we don't really have too many playful effect on it. And that's the reason why we can easily see the title here. But the issue I have with this is the use of elements that are not really necessary. The making use of elements that are not necessary on your project is going to take away from the project. Instead of it to make the project look interesting, it's going to take away, from it. And I'm saying this here because of this effect there that look more like volcano eruption. All right. Yeah. So I think this is not necessary. In fact, it would make more sense if you use this gradient effect you did here, just push it down like this darker part here, push it down so we won't see this your volcano effect here, because nothing sits on your design project neutral. Everything you place on your design project, people see it. People see it. So you need to be careful with using elements that are not necessary. The goal here is not for you to add, but to subtract. See whatever you can take away from the project that is not necessary, rather than you adding because you feel you don't want people to know, to add that mind that, okay, you didn't do much. All right. So see how you can make the project simple so everybody can see the information that you have on the project. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to stop here on this. Wow, I'm glad you made it to the end of this tutorial. If you have not subscribed, remember to hit the subscribe button, and also remember to check the post notification bell so you get notified when I post my tutorials. Share, like, and comment on this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.